Gosh, I don't even know how to start this. I guess, hi friends. Welcome back to another video. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I can do this. Okay, let me just Okay. I want to do a little bit of an update about what has been going on during the months of July. July has been an incredibly hard month for me. Definitely the hardest month so far this year, and for lots of different reasons. I just wanted to do a quick update of what's going on. I have been sharing in my community page that July has been hard. I missed an upload on Monday. It is not very much like me to not upload once a week. And the reason I didn't upload, it wasn't because I didn't film. I did film. I had the video filmed. I just couldn't get to editing. And that was for lots of different reasons. So much happened in July. So many difficult things happened in July. And I felt I just could not catch a breath. I felt I was in this stormy ocean, trying to swim, trying to keep my head above the water. And every time I just came up for air, another huge wave would just push me down again, and I would swallow some water, and then I would come back to the surface and try to breathe, and that just kept going on and on. And I thought I would share with you guys, because I know a lot of you have been sharing that you also had a pretty hard month in July. And I think when we hear other people's stories and other people's struggles, we feel less alone. So the biggest thing that happened in July, not gonna cry. I prepared so much for this so I wouldn't cry. I don't know if I can do this without crying, so excuse me. I'm gonna put myself together. Hold on. Okay, let's try this again. Our family had to make the horrible decision of putting our dog down. She was almost 16 years old, and she had been getting sick and sick and sick. She was getting very, very sick. Her health was declining significantly, and she had some sort of cancer, and her blood was really low on everything. Her hemoglobin, her platelets, her white blood cells, everything was like almost non-existent. Her poor little tongue was white. There was like no color on her tongue. and she was barely able to walk on the last couple of weeks that she was alive. She was wearing a diaper. She needed to be carried. She was having seizures. And then she wouldn't eat, and we were tube feeding her. And it just came a point where she was suffering, and we were keeping her alive because we didn't want to let go of her. And so we had to make the decision, which was made as a family, and we all agreed that that's not how she would want to be for her last days here on this earth, and that's not how we would want to remember her. So we went ahead and we had it done here in our house, in my bedroom actually, which was the place that she loved to be. And this was one of the hardest things I've ever done. It was pretty traumatic. Even though the craziest thing happened on the day that we made the decision and the day that we was booked, they were able to book us in last minute. And the couple of hours before it was scheduled, she ate a little bit of ham on her own, which was her favorite food, something that she had not been doing it for weeks. And she stopped shaking, which she had those tremors, and she fell asleep. And she was peacefully asleep the whole time, like 2 hours prior to the procedure. And she was so peaceful, so peaceful. And we all held her. And it was done. And I didn't realize how much it impacted me. And how difficult it was gonna be. I thought because she was so sick and because we were ending her suffering, because she deserved it, that it would be a little bit easier, but it wasn't. And that's one of the reasons why July was so incredibly hard, because she was very, very sick for the couple of weeks leading to us putting her down. You guys have seen her, Kayla was her name, in so many of my videos. And you won't be seeing her anymore. The other thing is my back has been very, very bad. The pain has been escalating, and maybe all this stress has to do with it. My phone. Sorry guys, there's noises coming from everywhere. I just did not have it in me to make sure that the house was quiet and set up lighting or anything, so It's just very improvised, but my back has been pretty bad, to the point where my painkillers that I often rely on, they have not been working. And I don't know if because of the storms that we've been having during this month, it was one of the rainiest July that I have ever experienced here in Canada since moving here. If this is contributing, I'm sure it is to some degree. The other really, really hard thing that happened is that I finally managed to see my rheumatologist here in Canada. And I was so stressed for that appointment because I knew there was a really, really good chance that things were not going to go down the way I was expecting them to go. So I had all my results from the MRIs that I had done in Brazil. I had the report of the doctor in Brazil with the diagnosis, with the treatment recommendation, all based on an international standard of diagnosis. So this was all based on international standards. It was not a Brazilian guideline, right? This is like international rheumatology guidelines for diagnosis of spondyloarthritis. And when I finally got to the appointment with my rheumatologist and had the appointment with the ophthalmologist, because they were like, oh, let's see what they say if they want you to be on biologics because of the uveitis. So the ophthalmologist said that from a uveitis point, I did not need to be on biologics. He said my eye inflammation is pretty stable and he doesn't need. This is what it's always like here. All the noise and the doors banging and... Anyways, so he said, I won't be prescribing this, but if you want to prescribe it for the chronic back pain, I don't see a problem with it. And then when I went to see the rheumatologist, she said that according to the Ontario guidelines and what she's bound to practice, it does not qualify me to be on biologics because it did not show damage on the MRI related to spondyloarthritis. So there was a lot of things that showed on my MRI. A lot was related to degenerative disc disorder. So many other things. I have a video that I'll put it up here that I go through what my MRI showed, but it didn't show a specific ankylosing spondylitis, which is when the spine starts to fuse. And she said she can't do anything about it. She can't prescribe the biologics to me. And she said, until I start showing damage on the MRI, they can't prescribe it to me. And that is a Ontario guideline. The whole point of being on those biologic drugs is to prevent damage that can't be undone. I don't want to have permanent damage on my spine. If there is a medication that is going to considerably reduce my pain, increase my quality of life, and prevent damage to my spine, I want it. I want to try at least. Maybe it doesn't work, maybe it's not for me, maybe I have too many side effects, but I feel I deserve to try. And because I live in Ontario and her license is from Ontario and she has to follow those guidelines, she can't prescribe this to me. And that was to me like everything that I've done this year, going to Brazil, seeing a doctor there, doing the MRIs, all trying to get to this conclusion that I need this medication, to then just be told, I can't prescribe it to you. And without her prescription, my insurance won't cover it. And I can't even get it. It's not something I can go over the counter and get it. So if she's not prescribing, I don't have access to it. I just felt I hit a wall. I just felt I hit a huge wall. And I don't know what to do moving forward. I'm just so exhausted of fighting and hitting wall after wall after wall. At least I didn't feel gaslighted. Like everything that I'm saying here, I told her. I said that, how can you wait to be, to see damage on an MRI to then prescribe medication? And she's like, I agree with you, but my hands are tied. Like, I agree with you that it is important to not let the disease progress and that those medications help us achieve this. And she said, I believe you. So at least in that regard, the appointment was a good experience because I felt seen and I felt heard. But she said she can't do anything for me. And not only that, she's going on mat leave, so I'm being referred to another clinic, which we're going to be like starting, with a whole new rheumatologist, which may or may not believe me, So, yeah. On top of that, there's been significant things going on in my family that I won't share here on YouTube because of their privacy. There's something that we're dealing that is extremely difficult, that has affected me deeply. And then in the midst of all that, something that I have been working so hard towards finally happened, which was to get sponsored by a brand. I finally had a brand reach out to me and offer me to try a product and see if I liked it, and if I did, to actually do a paid brandship deal. And I was just over the moon, so excited, because this is what I've been working so hard for, is to try to be able to do some sort of income with this channel, because I'm on disability. I can't work. I can't hold a regular job. I am not reliable at all. It is very difficult to hold any part-time job or even contracts and things because there are deadlines. And this brand deal emphasized this reality even more, because now I had a deadline. I had a deadline to deliver a video. And all of this, my dog getting sick, getting the bad news from my rheumatologist that she won't be prescribing me treatment, my family member who was experiencing something very difficult, all of that. And then I had this deadline. And I was just crying so much, that my face was swollen to the point I couldn't film. I developed this horrible rash on my chest. I'll try to put a picture here for you guys to see. And we still don't know why. Probably mast cell issues, but nothing works. Corticosteroid creams don't work. I don't know what to do. Nobody really knows what it is. And it's just that realization that even having my own channel and being my own boss is extremely difficult when you have a chronic illness, because you still want to deliver weekly videos so that the algorithm doesn't forget about you. And you want to be able to make money, so you want to do brand deals, sponsorships, but then you have deadlines. And everything has just been too much. I did end up being able to film and edit the video and send it for review within their time frame. And they loved the video. They loved the quality, the production, the idea, the details, which was very reassuring, to have a marketing department say those things about something that you produced. They just requested some minor changes, which I just finished doing it. So I'm not quite sure when this video is going to come up. Probably in the next few weeks. I would really, really, really appreciate if you guys would watch it and like it and comment, because this video doing well is precedence to, possibly other brand deals. So I would really, really appreciate your support on that. And also I want you to know that I would only do sponsorships with products that I actually see value in. And that is something that I make very clear with every brand, because the relationship that we build is extremely important for me, the trust that we have. And so I won't be recommending things that I think it's garbage just so that they pay me to make an advertisement. So that will never happen. I can reassure you of that. But anyways, this video is just ending up to be so long. Oh, I almost forgot the cherry on top. I got food poisoning. Yeah, I got such severe food poisoning one night. I ate some seaweed salad that was left in the fridge, and I didn't realize it had gone bad. I smelled it and it smelled fine. But as soon as I took one bite, I was like, oh, shoot. Didn't eat any more of that, but what was down was down. Oh my goodness, I had a rough night. I was so sick, and then the next morning I was violently throwing up. I pulled every muscle on my abdomen and back and couldn't move for like 2 days. I had a fever, I was shaking, I was really sick. And I just stopped, and I kind of, sorry, there's something beeping. I just looked up and I'm like, what else is coming? What else is coming my way in July? I can't wait for this month to be over, because I honestly, I don't know if I have anything more in me to keep surviving, it just feels like I'm gonna drown. And I felt you guys needed to know what's going on, because I have been really, really slow at replying to comments. I've been super behind in replying to comments. And that's not usually me. I like this to be a community where there is a conversation going. And so answering those comments is very, very important to me. It's very important to me that you feel seen and that you feel heard. And I just haven't been on top of answering the comments, and I'm sorry. And so I really just wanted to share and be honest with you guys about what's been going on. Sorry about the low production of this video because, yeah, there's like my phone vibrating, the cooler beeping, doors banging, all sorts of things, air conditioning turning on. Usually I have to make sure everything is quiet, you know, to get a good crisp audio. But I feel the message today is more important than, you know, the other things. Thanks for being here. Thank you for watching, especially if you made it this far. I know you are one of those people who truly care about me. And I hope that in some way I can be a support to you as much as you guys are to me. That's it. Hopefully my next video will be a little bit more cheery one. And watch out for that sponsorship video coming up. I am so excited about it. All right, guys. Bye. See you in the next one.